Shut up! Okay, welcome back to the Sashimi Tangent. Hello.
Yeah, welcome back. It's been a week.
Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah,
it's been two weeks.
For those who didn't see an episode last week, it's because I'm, like I said before, I'm alone editing and it takes a while. Okay.
Yeah, and our planning wasn't like great, I guess.
Yeah.
We needed to.
Correct. I mean, technically, you had 2 weeks worth of content with episode 0 and episode 1.
Yeah, but we just like shoved it out.
Yeah,
all at once.
So yeah, 2 weeks break. The next episode, the previous episode should be coming out. It should be coming out. It should be out.
It will be out.
It'll be out by the time this one comes out.
Yeah. So minor update. We're gonna be doing. So whenever you see this, it will be the new change. We're gonna be doing 2 episodes a week. One on Friday and one. So the usual one will be out on Monday as usual. The usual one is out as usual.
Yeah, you're right.
On Monday, and on Friday there will be another episode as well.
Right.
And we're gonna try to compress the episode down into
more
more
I won't say
compact.
action packed, but at least
we'll try to keep it with 30-40 minutes.
yeah,
so,
we'll try not to drag it too long.
yeah,
we'll
not a lot
just
of
make it.
repeats in the same
Yeah.
episode. A lot of boring stuff. I guess.
Yeah. But you still see our natural personalities where we go off tangent most of the time.
Yeah.
But at least this time when we go off tangent, we'll try to keep it not compressed, but when we do go off tangent, we'll jump to the next we'll jump to the next point in our conversation almost immediately at least.
Yeah.
So that we are able to keep it okay. Right?
Yeah. So today's episode, are Singaporeans rich?
Right. Disclaimer first. Again.
Disclaimer.
Every single episode, I'm not sure if you want to do it pre-recorded, but every single episode, okay, just a disclaimer: the opinions that we are about to, our opinions do not represent the organizations that we represent.
Yes. Opinions are ours and ours solely.
Correct. Opinions are solely ours and do not represent our organizations.
Yes, does not reflect how our organizations view these topics.
Right, and we pray and hope that you do not take it out of context. At least we can only hope to a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
So so let's get to the topic at hand.
Are Singaporeans rich?
Right. Yes. How it's really like, I guess, and the different levels.
Yeah, because like the common, I would say it's a misconception that a lot of viewers or anyone outside of Singapore believe that Singaporeans are rich because of what they see on like, I guess wherever they would see it, or like the advertisements, whatever. Or for example, Crazy Rich Asians.
Right.
Like that is not the norm.
Right, that is absolutely not the norm. Okay, can you imagine if everyone in Singapore was like crazy? Okay, to be fair, people who are in America might think that it might not look crazy, big houses and everything, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, how we live in Singapore is all based off public housing, and it's mainly
like 90%,
apartment.
80%.
I would say a good 80%.
Yeah.
It's safely public housing, and even if you're not living in a public housing, the next step up will be a condominium. So it's a luxury apartment, I would say. And then the next step up from that will be a bungalow. And then...
Yeah, oh, actually, bungalow is a Singaporean term.
Right.
So,
is it?
Yes, it is. So what a bungalow is basically like what you guys would call a house.
Right. What Americans or Australians would call a house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then...
Basically, it's not an apartment.
Yeah, it's just not a...
Like a standalone house.
A building, I guess.
Yeah.
Not a block building.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that, then there's the higher ranged one, which is what we call the good class bungalows.
Yes.
So those are those are
what you see in like Silicon Valley kind of houses.
Those are technically what you would probably see in Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes, exactly.
Just a one step lower because Crazy Rich Asians are closer to the step of mansions.
Yes. Fun fact, Crazy Rich Asians, the house, right, was filmed in Malaysia.
Right. Because we can't get a house that huge here in Singapore, guys.
Yeah.
If we could...
Limited land space.
If we could, my God, that guy must be earning like 100 millions a year. that thing is huge. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, like I mentioned again before, we might have our accents on.
Oh,
so
I forgot.
We'll try to keep our accents as neutral as possible.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
So let's hop into the first topic: medical costs.
Or at least the first subtopic, medical costs, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Why this topic?
I guess medical.
Recently, I had a run-in. Accident.
With your own, let's not make it sound terrible.
Yeah, like let's not say my negligence or something.
Let's just say
it was an accident.
Yes, an accident. Accident.
Yeah, so I was like running at night. I fell, And like what spurred on this topic was my first visit to the doctor. I went to a public hospital, the A&E, which stands for Accidents and Emergency.
I'm pretty sure this is a
not
universal
every.
term.
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I know in Australia it is not.
What is it called in Australia?
I have no idea.
All right then.
Yeah. Okay. So I went to a public hospital. Because we're currently serving our national service, right? So all the visits to the doctors are covered by insurance.
I won't really say insurance. It's at least part of our national service scheme.
Yeah.
That's covered. It won't really be called insurance in a way.
Okay, so to like public hospitals and whatnot, for medical reasons, all your expenses are covered by the government.
Right.
Yeah. And
sounds about right.
Yeah. So when I was there, I waited so I was at A&E. I had to wait 2 hours to see my doctor. Right after doctor, I got to see the X-ray, and after the X-ray, I had to wait there for another 3 hours, just to like see the doctor again. Where I was then referred to a specialist because I tore my ligament, right? So yeah, that was like the experience I had in the public hospital, and it was free. Okay, so the government paid for it, right? And the reason that we decided to talk about this topic was because after that, I had like the appointment they gave me to the specialist was like 2-3 weeks later, which is like quite a long time. Like I would have already recovered by then.
Right.
So I went to a private hospital, and like the whole process was so much faster. I just made a call in the day. I managed. So like I made a call to them about 9 a.m. and I was there 4 p.m. I saw the specialist. We took an X-ray immediately.
Right.
And like the doctor just gave me a rundown. I spent probably an hour there.
Right.
But the costs were like few $100s.
But I think that's where you can legit draw the line between private and public, because then again, public, you're paying. I guess you can say that you're paying for what you get, right? Given the fact that
covered by government.
Yeah, and I guess it's also their form of triage. Like they can probably see that you are still able to function, normally well.
Yeah.
Just except for probably a torn ligament or sprained ankle.
Yeah.
Like they probably think that okay, you can wait. More urgent cases obviously gets the higher priority, right? So I guess in a way, if you have to pay for it and you're in a rush, they would probably pay for private for most people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good and evil in both sides.
Yeah.
But it's still A&E, I guess, public hospitals in general, I think has a very, very, very long waiting time.
Yeah.
In general. But I think, honestly speaking, medically wise or medically subsidies wise for the public in Singapore, I guess we are doing quite well compared to other countries.
Yeah. So what spurred on this topic is I was so upset. I was so upset by the waiting time.
Yeah, but then again, you went on a weekend, right? Was it a weekend?
Yeah,
I think it was a weekend. Yeah. So
yeah, it's more of, so now we're talking about like cost versus time.
Right.
Like, are you willing to pay? Actually, if I had to pay, if I wasn't covered by the government, it would be, in comparison for the public hospital to the private one, it's only about twice the price.
Only?
Yeah.
Only but only is also a very big statement where some people still are not able to.
Yeah, so it's like cost versus time, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Are you willing to
pay
double for
right.
like 4 hours of your time?
Right. Is it also, if it's maybe, let's say, not non-urgent, right? Maybe you can just wait for the A&E because you just need to get it checked in the first place.
So it's like, what are you going to be doing with the 4 hours that you get?
Right.
Are you going to make enough money to cover up? Okay, it's making that face because there were like some barking outside.
Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, right. So I think a prime example, I have my back issues as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first time I went to a specialist, there was this family, sitting in the waiting area as well. I think it was a daughter and a mother. The funny thing was, I think the daughter was, we were all waiting for a relatively long time.
So
right?
this was a public hospital.
This is a public hospital. But, all right. Just saying, I don't diss public hospitals for their waiting time at all. I think the triaging makes sense, right? Non-critical means
I was upset because it's not. How can I say this? Like I just don't like to be sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes you idle, right? For that 4 or 5 hours because you don't. Yeah. And the worst part is they like to say that the queue numbers may not be called in sequence.
Yes. Oh no, actually the most, I guess triggering part is that they don't give you a waiting time.
Right.
So you could be there, like, so waiting without like an end in mind, it's like you could be there for 1 hour, you could be there for 5 hours. That makes the wait so much worse.
Right. Yeah. I think it's the same. I believe it's the same in general for almost every public hospital there is.
Yeah.
Given that some polyclinics, for people who are outside of Singapore, polyclinics are basically just your general clinic, your GP
government
clinics.
subsidized clinic.
Yeah. So right, for polyclinics, they will take some time as well, but they have a queuing system where you can actually track with your phone.
Exactly. That's so much better.
So at least
because
you can
know how many
right.
people.
So at least you can put it there. It's like, oh, there's one more people. There was one person left in front of me. I should go there and wait right about now. Maybe if you say it's 3 or 2, you can just have a walk, have a drink. Sorry, the dog. I'm not sure if the audio will pick it up, but the dog's kind of loud. But yeah. So at that point, going back to the my specialist for the back. For I don't know what they call it. I just know that it's in the musculoskeletal center. So this family,
orthopedics.
Is it orthopedics?
Skeletal, yes.
Oh, okay. I guess.
Yeah, here you go. There you go.
Yeah, but so the family, the mother and daughter, they were waiting for a long time, right? I think their appointment was at 2:30, but it was already 4. My appointment was at 4. They were waiting for 1.5 hours, and then the daughter was like,
"Shut up."
okay. Anyway, right. So their appointment was at 2:30. My appointment was at 4. I was there at 4 at least. Then holy shit, this is loud. Then the daughter was saying the mother like, "Ma, next time I'm just gonna bring you to a private hospital. Alright, this is taking a long time." And it turns out, okay, for some reason, they decide to do system overhauls during working hours. And on top of that, after the system overhaul, a lot of, I won't say that a lot of companies or a lot of government agencies do this, but I guess to each their own management systems, right? But this one was bad because during the system overhaul, once you overhaul it, you should at least test it out, to make sure everything's working. Apparently, what they like to mention, I'm not sure if it's just a PR response, but it's always oh yeah, we just created a system overhaul last night. Okay, fair, last night.
Yeah.
Everything's closed, great. We kicked it up this morning. I'm like, great. So you didn't bother testing it out. I was like thinking in my head at least, why do you not test it out first? You know it's new, and no one knows how to use it yet, and you didn't test it out. So that's what caused the delay. And the moment the doctor came out of the room, he was like, okay, the system is down. We might all head to the other room where it's still functioning. The whole horde of people in the waiting area just flushed to the next zone, and I'm like, am I going to wait here until 6? And indeed I did. I waited until 6.
So that's our traumatic public hospital experience.
Yeah, but then again, they do serve its purpose. They are affordable healthcare, which I wouldn't say not a lot of countries. Notoriously, US is not known well for public accessible healthcare. Just the waiting times it's painful currently, but I guess we can attribute that to the lack of doctors and nurses in Singapore. I guess it doesn't really help the fact that the nurses retired as well, right?
Yeah.
Or
But that's COVID
resign.
news.
Yeah, that's COVID news. But I mean, part and parcel and everything, right? You can't just generalize people in COVID and then people who have back problems. Because they are part of the whole same structure anyway.
Okay, so I guess that was sort of a tangent, our experience in public healthcare system.
Yeah.
Traumatic experience.
But we did cover slightly on the cost time benefit, I guess. Like whether you want to spend more time or you want to spend more money to save your time.
Okay,
right?
so let's answer the question, I guess.
Yeah, let's answer the question.
Are Singaporeans rich?
No.
No.
A large majority of us, I would say that we are. We are not part of that large majority, all right. But I would say in general that Singaporeans are able to live comfortably, but they are not. They're not rich per se. I think it defines. It depends on what you define as rich.
Let's talk about the definition. Are we gonna go deep? Are we gonna talk about
I don't
wealth?
think so. Let's just. I mean, old money is old money.
No. Like what I mean is, are we gonna be talking about wealth? Are we gonna be talking about quality of life? Are they happy?
I think quality of life matters more.
Or like how content Singaporeans are with what they have.
Right. So
are we going to that extent?
We can just tap on it, I guess, to make it quick.
Sure.
Yeah. What do you value? Do you value QOL?
We're not talking about me. We're talking about Singaporeans.
Yeah, but
if we're talking about happiness, right? As a as a measurement. I think there was a recent study that says Singaporeans are
Not happy.
one of the most
Unhappiest country in the world.
unhappy country in the world.
Yeah, then there's another one that said we are also one of the happiest country in the world. Studies are weird.
Yeah, it depends on what they're measuring, I guess.
Yeah, but I would say that, okay, if you are able, I mean, obviously everyone would want to go for more money, right? You
Yeah.
want to earn higher. I mean,
Yes.
you can't stop that in
Yeah.
a way of speaking. You can't
Yeah.
stop the mentality, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that if you're able to live comfortably, you're able to buy the things that you want, obviously with some saving, you can't just randomly buy a car. We'll get to that in a while.
Yes.
But if you have savings, you're able to have a roof over your head, eat anything you want, sleep, wake up, still have a job, you can support your own life and your families maybe. I would say that generally you will be doing well with some savings or with some cushions as well at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, since we can't really
We
talk
can't really,
about the every
Right.
every Singaporean. Let's talk about people we know.
Right.
Like, what? Okay, I guess this is not really a smooth segue, but like, what are their expectations? Like, what is their expectation of success? Like, what is rich to them? Is rich like one of the things they use to define success?
Yeah.
Or like, what is the amount, if we are talking monetary wise, that they are going to be happy with?
Right. I think that's a seriously very, very hot debate kind of thing, you know.
Yeah,
Like
that's why we are talking about
yeah.
it.
But-
There's a reason this is our
But
topic.
I think it's not only the hot debate, but I think it's an ongoing thing where everyone thinks that, okay, maybe I have to earn,
Yeah.
I don't know, $8,000, $9,000
Yes.
a month, right?
So
So
that's
that I can
why-
define me
yeah.
being successful and
Yes,
rich, right? So
Since we can't talk about people we don't know, so
Yeah, let's
we'll
talk
be
about
talking
people we know.
people we know, right? Like, there are people who will be contented with like 4,000 a month.
yeah, right. Oh, sorry, that yeah, right wasn't sarcastic. that yeah, right was like the equivalent of yeah now, but yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But right,
and there are people who will be earning 30,000 a month and
and
not
still
be
not
happy.
contacted, right?
Yeah.
Still not be happy. Our screen just went off.
Yeah, 1 second. Go, continue.
Right. So right, that's why when we just box all of our view.
Face ID.
So that's what we mean by, are you really seeking quality of life,
Yeah.
right? Or are you
Yes.
seeking monetary value on its own?
Mhm.
Because you might be earning 30,000 a month. That's a
Yes.
really high income ceiling, but you might be earning that amount, but generally there are aspects in your own life that might not make you happy, you know. Sometimes some people downgrade their
Yeah.
income and they said this job actually feels much more fulfilling. Like I'm actually
Mhm.
giving my part to society, right?
Yeah.
Then there are some who earns 4,000 a month and they're like, I'm actually doing well. Why do
Yeah.
I don't see a need. I'm not saying don't see a need to climb, but an increased amount would obviously make me more comfortable. But at 4,000, I'm also comfortable right now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really see the need to pursue higher
Yeah.
so aggressively at least.
Yes.
So I think success and wealth, right, in a manner of speaking, I think it really boils down to how well personally you're living. Like if your quality of life is really in a decent spot in the first
Mhm.
place, I don't think you should. I won't say, okay, no, don't think you should strive for a higher position. It's a very bad life example. But I don't think personally you should be too greedy and at least, you know,
Mhm.
hunt for success blindly. I would say
Yeah.
you are comfortable where you are. Just stick to it. Just do whatever you've been doing. If you're probably slightly, you don't feel right in your position anymore, just switch over and just ask for a pay
Yeah.
increase at that point. You know,
So
it's not that easy. But
I think it's because of this, or I would say how a lot of Singaporeans are brought up. We are brought up, I would say, quite materialistically.
I wouldn't say materialistically, but at least our parents at least, you know, they are being real when they say money.
Yes.
You need money to survive.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. No one denies that you need
Yeah.
money to survive, right? But I guess on that scale, it depends on how much how comfortable you're willing to live with the
Mhm.
money.
And yeah, so my point with that was, because of that, I think a lot of people are aiming for quite high
Yeah.
sums of money.
Yeah, I would say so, because they
Earn
might
the
think that
money.
successful will be having a car,
Yeah.
having a decent sized house. Not that public housing is not decent. It's actually some of public housing are actually really nice. I'm not gonna lie, man. Some of their layouts are really, really nice. But yeah, it's just how people view their own successes and their own qualities of life, I would say.
Okay, so I guess on that, let's answer the question.
Right, the car and house prices.
No.
No?
No.
Are we not done yet with that?
No, we didn't really answer the question. The question is, what are the expectations of success? Like, what do they actually really look for? At least for the people that is in your circle, since you can't talk about others, right?
I mean, okay.
The majority of them look for titles, like job position, like senior something.
Okay, honestly speaking.
Or like, is it money,
Honestly speaking, if it were up to me.
Relationships maybe.
Does it really relate to money to a certain extent with relationships?
I mean, we're talking about like success, right?
That's very fair.
Success, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I would say that in my own view, right? In my own view, and personally, some of my friends in the circle, like, their goal would be in the long term, if they were married, to be able to comfortably support their family and at least afford some luxury on the day-to-day necessities. They don't have to worry about necessities, etc. Like, I think that's their view of success, as long as they're content with themselves and they're able to support others.
Okay,
without putting too much effort.
Do they want to be living in like a bungalow, maybe?
I mean, technically, it's everyone's dream to be living in a big house. It's not mine, personally, because I'm someone who does a lot of housework occasionally, right? Sorry, mum.
Occasionally.
Yeah,
juxtaposition, right?
Right, a lot now, occasionally. But yeah, big houses have their own share of problems.
Yes.
Condominiums have their own share of problems. Public housing have their own share of problems, right? But big houses like bungalows and good class bungalows, they are, I would say, I think they bring more problem than than comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in my own opinion, I'm not talking about my friends' one, because most of them are like, oh yeah, I like big houses. The thing is, I migrated here before. I migrated here from Indonesia. I was technically living in a bigger house.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about you. What's your expectation? I mean, like, what is your definition of success?
Good segue, by the way. I would say that if as long as I'm able to provide for my future family, they are able to afford the necessities comfortably. Any minor luxury, not minor luxuries, any luxuries after, if they're able to afford it without betting an eye. Okay, betting some eye, all right, it's still my money.
Yeah.
But but the point is for them to live with the necessities that they need. They don't have to worry about your day-to-day, like food, water, supplies and everything. Luxuries, they can afford it as well. And there's still some cushion, like our own savings. And then if they have to go for the medical, for the medical side, if they are unwell, they're at least able to afford it as well. That's my definition of success.
Since we're talking about health, are you talking about public hospital, or are you talking about the best doctor?
In general. Generally in general. Like,
so you won't be looking for like the number one doctor.
Okay, if it was such a life and death thing, right? Obviously, I would.
But you'll be able to afford that comfortably.
Yeah, right. I won't say comfortably, but at least I know that I can afford it. I won't say comfortably to the extent where I burn all my savings.
Yeah,
but
that's not comfortable.
Yeah, that's not comfortable. I'm saying that I know that I can afford it, even if it's a large sum of money. I know that there is still some amount of money for me to still survive. That's the bare minimum.
Yeah, I think for me it's very similar, but I'll say slightly more than that, where it's not just necessities are met.
Right.
Like luxuries would be like a bat of an eye. Yeah, just get it kind of thing.
Mine is betting like both. I was like, oh my god, luxuries.
Yeah, like I think because I guess childhood experience, parents work very hard, right? So we want them to retire happily, money should not be a concern.
Right.
Like, can do anything you want.
Right, that's my goal.
Like, if you want to fly to space, sure, let me contact my buddy Bezos. No, but I'm just like, not to that extent. But I'm just saying,
you have to earn like sub-billion dollars, by the way.
Yeah, that's why I said not to the extent. But like,
but that's what you mean. That's the general.
Yeah, like if you want to partake, sure, let's buy 5.
Yeah, it's like just go for it. If you want to fly somewhere, okay, fine, we'll just buy a ticket. Yeah,
exactly.
you make sense.
Or like this kind of house you want, sure. What car you want? Rolls Royce, okay.
I choked because Rolls Royce in Singapore is really pricey.
Yeah, no, I mean my parents don't have a license, so there's no.
Yeah.
They don't have their license, but chauffeur, sure. No, like I'm for real.
I mean, yeah, chauffeur makes sense No, not in
Like,
Singapore.
just to
Technically, it
be-
doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, like just that kind of comfort is what I'm like looking for my family.
Yeah, I guess. Like, I mean, as you can tell, we have different. Like what we mentioned in the start, right? It really, like, it depends on what you count as comfortable or what you count as good quality of life with your income at that point.
Yeah.
So in this case now at this table, we have a good separation of what we really define as comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I might be earning 20,000 a month,
Yeah.
right? And I'm able to afford the things that I really want, and I'll be comfortable. I won't be seeking for higher job positions at that point because,
Yeah.
like, with with a high position comes more problems.
Yeah. I
honestly.
think if we're gonna talk about that, if we're gonna talk about job, I think like
I mean, we're still in the bracket of how we view success, right?
yeah, so
like,
I would say like success, maybe if I can make an impact in the world, kind of thing. That
Wow.
would be like, ooh,
that's really philosophical.
yeah,
I guess
like a positive impact, of course. Like, I'm not gonna bring back slavery. Oh, so in your history books, this guy, he introduced slavery again.
it's like Zan.
Yeah,
just Zan over there. It's like,
like
oh,
that.
right.
That's not the kind of impact I'm looking
famous for
for
being infamous.
Yeah,
But yeah, I guess
like I can make something that will improve quality of life for everyone, kind of thing.
I think low down in almost everyone's beliefs, at least they would like to contribute to society in some manner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm with you. I want to leave a significant mark in this world as well, just not the
Yeah.
bad ones. I mean, whoever decides to leave a significant bad mark in history, and that's a life goal, by the way. I have no words for you. Just saying, I have absolutely no words for you. I have no idea why you do that, but you do you. Yeah, you might have failed art school in Austria or something.
Yeah, let me paint the world red with blood.
Yeah, it's like I failed art school in Austria.
This is
Fuck it.
this is my statement piece.
It's like
piece.
it's like fuck it. I'm just gonna dominate the world then.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, all in all,
All in all.
Singaporeans are not rich.
Yeah.
The reason that it is viewed as such is, I think Singaporean, the way we were brought up, ambition is sort of like
Ambition
taught.
is a very
It's like ingrained in.
it's very ingrained. We are relatively a very cutthroat society, I would say.
And also because of social media, all
Right.
you see is like the positives, I guess, like the highs, of people's life. It's basically like a highlight reel.
Mm.
And I think that is true for any country.
Yeah,
cannot-
obviously you always want to see the best in every country, right?
Yeah, no, in
Yeah.
the sense that you cannot view like the highlight reels of the few successful to determine that the whole country is happy, the whole country is
Right,
rich.
Right.
Like it is just that it's a highlight reel.
Yeah, and I think it gets I guess it get bloated more because a lot of the media like to expand on Singapore's taxes.
Success.
No, I won't say success only. How we, like, example, our cars. All right.
Yeah.
The media likes to put in place that Singapore's cars are freakishly expensive, which is not wrong. They're not wrong.
Yes.
Our cars are freakishly expensive compared to the rest of the world, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But they like to see it as, that means that every Singaporean who owns a car are rich, right?
Yes.
Considering how much you spend on a car.
Mhm.
Just for a rough reference, I mentioned this on episode 0, but a Toyota Prius can cost you about 150,000 Sing dollars.
Yeah.
That's inclusive of most taxes and the COE itself. So what
Yes.
COE is the Certificate of Entitlement.
Yes.
It's a piece of paper that decides that you can own a car. I can own this car for 10 years, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of people who's from the outside world who looks into Singapore thinks that, oh wow, this family can afford $100,000 car, $100,000 car,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they must be well off. The reality is, it's not. Most of us do take loans for the cars. Not a lot of people can just afford cash in hand, I would say, 100,000,
Mm-hmm.
because we know that the car is a necessity for us, so we decide to spend that
Yeah.
much for it.
Yeah.
So really overall, the answer to the question is we are not that rich, realistically. As in, Singaporeans are not that rich.
Yeah, exactly.
Nor are we technically. We are not really in the top spectrum of the
Yeah.
or the high income. The high income earners, man, those guys are those guys are a different story.
Yeah, for sure.
Those guys are a different ballpark altogether.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess if you want to try out this new format, we can just wrap it out around here.
So, okay, on Friday's episode, we're gonna talk more in depth about car and house prices and luxuries in Singapore, how Singaporeans spend on them, why do they spend on them?
Yeah, and the necessities, and maybe we can look around and outside of Singapore as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, then so that we can at least draw a relative comparison on how we spend money, I would say.
All right. So, thank you for listening.
Yeah, we'll see you guys on Friday. Sorry.
Yes.
It should be Friday. I'm pretty sure I can edit this.
Friday.
I'm pretty sure I can edit this in time.
Remember to subscribe, like,
follow us on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. We are on there as well. If you are using Anchor.fm, we are on there as well.
Yep.
So you can follow us on all those avenues. Our socials are Sashimi Tangent for both Twitter and Instagram. For our personal Instagram, we'll actually list them down on Spotify on the descriptions, and on Apple Podcasts and on YouTube on the descriptions as well. Yeah. So you can check all of them. I don't know how they do it, but you can check all of them below. Yeah, just below right there.
Yeah. Oh, we should turn on the next video thing. You can point. Oh, here, click here for the next video.
I need to aim it somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere.
Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. I have to do it.
Yeah, click here to subscribe.
Yeah, man.
Click here for the next video.
I have to do that. All right.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
That's it. See you guys on Friday, and thanks for listening once again.
Increase outro music.
Yeah.